I'm now going to make my desktop, and I'm going to turn my monitor, make sure everyone can hear everything. And wow, if you could see this, you'd know that I am one heck of a messy creator. So we're talking about home decor, decorating your walls. And so I have a couple of ideas with photos, but mostly I want to show you how you can use your scrapbooking products for things. So this is the word spring, and what I did was took strips of paper and put them on a piece of paper like this. Actually, I put the strips on cardstock first, and then I laid this over it, and you can see this is my cutout dude. I cut out the letters, and then I put it on backing and put it in. This is one of the anthology frames, okay? I did put it on cardstock. It made it really super thick and a little bit harder to cut than I had planned on. So you may not want to do that, but you could do any word here. You could do your family name. And I actually have this as a JPEG, and when I post the video, I'll post the JPEG for spring. I just did this in Photoshop. You could do it inside of Word, a variety of different places. And I did use foam square, so you'll see it's lifted up just a little bit, just add a little bit of depth to it. Nothing all that exciting. One of the home decor trends that I've been seeing is animals. And this is using an anthology clipboard. And this giraffe was so adorable. And after doing this now, I probably would use a brighter color. And in fact, I cut it out with this color, but look at how fun that plaid is. You could actually have kissing cousins there if you want to, okay? So I just went and found a coloring page for a giraffe, downloaded it. It looks like this. And I put a little bit of adhesive on the back of it in these spots where I knew it was going to be taken off the paper, trimmed around the edge. I didn't worry about all the little details on his horns because it doesn't really matter. But a kid's room would look so cute with this, or if you had a playroom or something that you want to use that in, it would work really nicely. Okay, so I do want to show you actually one more thing before we move on. Using photos. Another thing that you see a lot are jar displays, and this doesn't really look all that great laying like this, but you kind of can get the feel. You could make a little montage of jars with photos in them, and all you do is roll your photo and stick it in. Now this jar happens to be just 4 inches exactly, so I just trimmed the top off of it. I rolled the photo, dropped it in my jar, and there you go. This would be a fun party decor for like a wedding. For graduation, you could put the child's picture that's graduating throughout the years, all the school pictures or something in there. And these jars are relatively inexpensive, but the nice thing is you can reuse them as well. You can use them in your house just for fun decor too. If you're vacation or something fun that you've done, okay? So I showed you the spring. The spring was a beast to cut out. So I'm going to show it to you with an egg. Now, again, I just went and found some, there's a coloring page, downloaded it, and this is how easy it is to put this together. I'm just going to use this particular paper. I have a second one if I want to lay it over, but I think I'm going to be able to see this through the back. And I'm just going to do strips of adhesive to make sure that I've got everything covered here. And my papers, I've cut a variety of them. They're from Floral Flourish and the Wonder Collection, and well, there was another one. Oh, the Baby Bundle has some stuff in it. And I think there's still one more. I don't remember the last one. I just want to make sure I've got enough adhesive, and I can come back and add more if I want. And then I'm just going to lay my strips down and make sure that I've got everything covered the way that I want them covered. And I want to kind of mix and match thick and thin pieces. Okay, and you want to make sure it's right up against the edge so you're not seeing any of that black that's behind it. But again, I'm just mixing and matching these so that I can get a variety. Of course, you know, once you stick it down, it's down, right? Variety of designs to it. You could get really fancy and do, actually I don't want that one yet, and do scalloped edges. You could border punch these using the Omafel border punch. And if you were doing that, then I would definitely put it on a cardstock or something. This is a border strip. Most of this is scraps that I happen to have, and I just cut them into little strips, but you could easily use border strips as well if you don't want to spend a lot of time cutting things. But you can see how easy it is to just put these together, mix and match colors, because think about Easter eggs. They're really kind of a hodgepodge of colors and designs and things. But I wanted this to be a little bit more grown-up looking so that I could hang it on my wall and have a Easter decor. If you're looking for designs, because one of the other fun things that I found was paper piecings, and paper piecings are so fun. And if you can't find it for paper piecings, look for quilt patterns. Quilt patterns, there are so many of them out there. Since I put this one on here, I'm going to actually tear that off, and that gives me that extra piece. Anyways, check out quilt patterns. They have such fun designs and so many options of things that you can use for your patterns and things. So let's see, let's do one more. We'll end up here with the purple. I'm going to tear that off. Okay, now I can see my design through the back, which is great. So all I'm going to do is take my scissors, and I am going to run my hand over this one more time just to make sure everything is adhered down. So I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to cut out along that egg line. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it is there. And
I can actually see it very easily. I can.
I was surprised how well I could see it, because I thought, oh, I'm going to have to lay this other guy on top of it, but no. And this is so much easier to cut than the spring. And let me give you some tips about cutting words like spring. It's easier if you cut out the insides of the letters before you do the outsides, because then you have some stability. And I used an X-Acto knife for that. It just made it a little bit easier. Okay, so there's that guy. And I'm just going to adhere him on something like this, and I have a 12 by 12 frame. Actually, this guy, I'm not going to put it in there, but I can use this frame, put this in there. I could even put Happy Easter if I wanted to. I could put spring, but that easily used up some scraps and created just this cute egg. Very simple, but easy home decor. Okay, so that's my easy thing there. Then this other one, which we're going to do part of it, but probably not the whole thing, because who the heck wants to watch me fold paper all night? Okay, this is foam core. And the idea with this, I'm not sure why it's not laying flat, but it's not. The idea with this is to create a geometric design with it. Sorry, I'm moving some things out of the way. So I have cut out from Bright and Breezy. Oops, sorry about adjusting that there. Okay, from Bright and Breezy, I've cut out a whole bunch of different papers, and I'm folding them in half. And let me just grab one more, fold it in half. You could go through and score these first if you want to have it fold really easily. That totally works. And I'm going to take my adhesive, and I have a very light line here across the top. And the reason for that is that, oh, and actually I want to fold it this way, sorry. Don't mind me. I am going to use that line to line up my designs, okay? So it's going to look like this, and I'm just going to put adhesive on the back of this guy. And this, again, is something to put on your wall, just as another way to do some wall decor with your favorite scrapbook papers or colors, and you know, whatever it is that you want in your home during that time or season or holiday. Okay, so then, hello, this one goes, don't mind me, this one goes on this side. And if you're really smart, you would draw another line there so that you have something to keep it perfectly lined up on. You could do this with solid paper as well. It does not have to be done, with pattern paper. It just depends on the look that you want for this. Okay, and then we'll go with this guy. Fold him the other way too. And actually, this is turning out much bigger than I had planned. So if you were doing this, if I was doing this again, whoops, I would do smaller squares, because this is only going to let me do like 2 sets of these. So really, we may do all of them. Okay, here we go with the stripes. Once you get the first one down, all the other ones are easier, because you have something, well, in theory, it's all easier. You have something to line everything up against. The reason for the foam core is it's a good base. It's inexpensive. So, you know, you can, it was a couple of dollars, I think, to buy the foam core. And you can trim it down to size. You can get it different thicknesses. But it's just pretty easy to work with, which is why I grabbed it. I thought about just doing it on poster board or something like that. Now, if I were paying better attention, I would not have put that one there, because that means I just repeated something in the exact same spot. So if you want to kind of vary things up, make sure that you don't put things in the exact same spots. It may not matter. It depends on how much you like to have things exactly the same, or if you prefer to have some variety in things. So I'm not going to use that guy. Let's use this one. You getting the hang of this? Okay, so we just have 2 more sets of squares, and like I said, hindsight, I would definitely have done smaller squares. These are 4-inch squares I'm doing. I think 2-inch squares would be great, because then, oops, I folded it the wrong way. Then you could get more of these. The example that I saw had about 20 of them on there, so it was really fun to see the design kind of build out. But this gives you the idea of what you can do with it. Any questions on anything so far? You're wondering where I learned my mad folding skills? Oh, it's just, you know, hours and hours of folding. Or maybe it's the cutting that you're really enthralled by my cutting skills, right? Just kidding.
We're loving the ease of the tape runner for this kind of a project.
Oh, isn't that nice? Because you don't have to worry about pulling it off or putting it back down. Or, yeah, it does make it very easy. I haven't used stripe yet, so we'll go with stripe. I think I'd remember which way to fold this after doing so many of these. And really, if you were doing a lot of these squares, I would definitely draw in your grid lines just to make your life a little bit easier, so that you weren't having to try and guess where things line up. This is a learn by my example type of experience, not by what I do, but what I say. So I've tried it for you and told you that's not a great idea. Do it differently.
Stacy, can you
Yes.
slide your project up a bit?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, this board is 20 by 20, so it does take up a lot of space, and you wouldn't have to necessarily do it this size. It just seemed like a good size to have for a wall decor piece if you wanted to have it have some sort of significant spot in your house. And one more. Let's go with not the stripe. Not that. Oh, wow. Good polka dots, good stripes. We didn't do the butterfly paper. Okay. Okay, there you go. So you just leave these in a little bit like that. That is what the finished piece looks like. Again, it would probably look better with smaller pieces because then you get more variety in what you're doing. But it's just a fun way to kind of decorate your house, and it's not a big expense. So if you don't like it after a couple months, you make a new one, okay? So that, I believe, is all that I have for you tonight. So again, make an egg with your scraps. Do the word spring if you'd like, or any other word. Look for fun animal things that you might want to do. And we're going to do one more set of points here. So let me take back my control. Okay, there we go. So that concludes home decor. I hope you found some fun ideas of things you can do for your walls. And if you do make something, please share it with us. We love seeing things. Like you saw tonight, some people shared some of their great things they were doing. So, you know, we'd love to see what you have going on. We're going to give away some last points to Cynthia Whitney. Cynthia Whitney, if you will send Lisa E. your Heritage Makers account number or Youngevity ID, we will get those points into your account. So thanks again for joining us. We will see you. Lisa, when are we doing the next one? Okay. Oh, we still need account numbers for our first two winners as well, if you are still on with us. Amy, and I can't remember who the other person was, okay? But we have the next one planned. It's in April 19th. Thanks, Lisa. We'll see you April 19th back here for Photo U, and we'll get the recording up in the next couple of days. Thanks so much, and have a good evening. Bye.